If you studied what each of these groups is upon, you will find that at the bottom of each and every single group, they started with La ilaha illallah. And you will also find another common denominator where they messed up, and I mean every one of them, is when they put a label on themselves. This is not endorsing any group. It's endorsing the ummah. It's allowing people in each and every group to hear about the mainstream Islam, which doesn't need any group except what? وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. Don't die except that you're a Muslim. So when somebody asks you what kind of Muslim are you, you just say yes. Get it? What kind of Muslim are you? Yes. Yes. Muslim. I don't need those groups. I sat in each group. Wahhabi, Salafi, Shiite, Sufi, many flavors of Sufi, more than Baskin Robbins, by the way. You got everything you want. Everything from flying carpets to magic to whatever. A'udhu billah. But I still am not going to say takfir on anybody. I won't do that. Why? Because of this hadith. All I want to say is, it looks like the way that some of these people are going ain't the right way. That I'm going to tell you right away. But I will say this. Every single Muslim always has a chance to do what? To be guided by Allah. They're more in a position, a person who already believes La ilaha illallah, they don't believe Son of God. They don't believe in a cross. They don't think Muhammad is God or some relative of God, a'udhu billah. And they accept the Quran. Certainly that's got to be closer than to some of the people that we keep saying, let's make dawah to this one and make dawah to... What about our own families? Our own friends that are Muslim, at least by name? Let us consider them as minimum. At minimum, at least consider them as good candidates to be real Muslim. And by the way, along the way, let us consider ourselves as a candidate, because just maybe, I know this may hurt, maybe if we looked in the mirror, we might find out that we're not perfect. There may be some things about Yusuf Estes that needs to be worked on. It could be. In fact, this is what I really should be spending my time about, instead of worrying about other people's business. Brother comes up to me and says, Salam alaikum. And a shaitan comes to me and says, don't give him back his salam yet. He may not be on the right minhaj, brother. He says, Salam alaikum. Ask him, upon which minhaj are you? Some of you have been taught that you cannot give salams to somebody unless he's on the minhaj of Rasul. I will say to you what all of the students of knowledge have said for 1400 years. Where is your proof? The only thing you've got is a twisted understanding from a hadith which involves Aisha radiallahu anha. So when you take something, and a lot of people don't even know where it came from, they just accept it. Sheikh said so-and-so. Sheikh who? Because I really, as much as I do love and respect every single Muslim, and pray for all of them, even those who hurt me, even those who attack the work that we're trying to do, I still make dua for them. You know why? Because I do have a proof for that. A strong proof. When I look to the examples of the companions, the ashab of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, They had differences amongst themselves. What do you think? They just sat around like angels going, ha, 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 Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. They didn't do that. But when they found themselves to begin to get excited, start to get angry, they remembered the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which says, when somebody said, give me some nasiha, some advice, he said, la taghdab. Don't get angry. And then he told them things you can do to keep from getting angry. Because shaitan courses through your veins like your blood when you get angry. You feel the heat. You ever heard somebody say, I got hot, man. Man, I'm hot. Man, don't touch me. I'm hot. Meaning what? Shaitan is in you. So yeah, they did make dhikr when they got angry. Just like they made dhikr when they were happy. They made wudu. They would sit down if they were standing. These are the things that Rasul Sallallahu taught them. But don't think that meant that all the Sahabi were running around holding hands, ring around the posy, pocket full of roses. No, that's not the way it was. They were real just like you're real. But they dealt with their problems between each other in a very beautiful way. And I want you to think about a hadith that you probably, if you don't know the hadith, you know the quote from it at least. You know the quote from it about loving your brother for the sake of Allah. You've heard this expression, yes? Love your brother for the sake of Allah. In Christianity, I'm going to shift just for a minute to give you a comparison. I want you to see how much more focused Islam is when you inspect it with a microscope. Christianity has something in the book, the Gospel of Mark, chapter 12, verse 29, when they had been asking Jesus, what's the greatest commandment? And he said to them, according to what they have left of their translations of mistranslations, etc., to know, O Israel, the Lord your God is one Lord. And you have to love or worship Him with all your might and all your strength and all your heart. And I give you a commandment like unto it, to love your brother as yourself. Go back and look in the Old Testament in Deuteronomy. It's, I think, the third book. You'll find it. Chapter 6 is where you'll find this one. This is a quote that's being misquoted. Again saying, to know, O Israel, the Lord your God is one Lord. That you have to love Him with, or worship Him with all your mind and all your heart and all your strength. And you have to love your brother as yourself. This is where it's talking about. This is a misquote from there. But look at Islam when Allah is telling you in the Quran, وَأَتَسِّمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَاللَّهُ تَفَرَّقُوا. This is much more. And the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he said what means in English, that whoever has these three has tasted the sweetness of the deen. And one of the three was what? That he loves someone for the sake of Allah. And the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which says about the ones who will be in the dhil, in the shade, on the day when there's no shade except Allah's shade. And this is someone who has met someone and parted with something, with that person, only for the sake of Allah. Do you know what that means? Does that mean the brother that you think is so sweet and kind and nice, the one who loaned you $50 when you needed it, the one who let you use his car anytime, is this the brother who's always at the masjid, that's cleaning up, taking care of things, giving you salams? Is it the imam who spends so much time helping your kids learn the Quran? Is that who it's talking about? No, it's talking about the brother that you couldn't stand any other way except for this statement that you love your brother for the sake of Allah. And you meet with him and part with him for the sake of Allah and for no other reason. And this way you can say, I truly love all the Muslims for the sake of Allah. Still hadn't made my point? One more time. We'll end the first part of the khutbah.